How you guys doing? Happy Thursday. Hey, how about those Red Sox?
Wow. What changes in one day, huh?
Wow.
Big win for the player, big win for the agent, Scott Boras. Whew.
Yeah, glad the Red Sox got him. Glad they decided to spend some money. I have a question, though, and I'm happy about it, by the way. This move is enough for me to want to buy a ticket to a Red Sox game again. They have moved me back onto the right side of things on that front.
I like the player. He's a prick. So I like him.
I do too.
I love his attitude.
I like the signing. It fulfills a need. I like the player. All of it. I have a question that I have not seen answered anywhere yet. How much of the money is deferred, and when is it deferred until?
It's a great question.
Those are the questions I have about this deal for one simple reason. Before I fall all over myself here giving John Henry and the Red Sox credit, I want to know when that bill comes due. Is that fair? Is that a fair question to ask?
Absolutely, yeah. After the Shohei Ohtani contract, now it's not obviously that, or all these other ex-baseball players are still making bank 10, 15 years after they played. Yeah, it's a fair question.
That's my thought.
We do know how much is deferred.
How much?
It's 3 years, $90 million present day. So it's going to be $30 million on the books for the CBT, not $40 million, which still pushes you about $5 million over the first CBT threshold.
Okay, so $30 million is deferred. It's a considerable chunk, but it's not enough that I'm offended or think they're cheaping out.
Yeah, I don't have a problem deferring money.
I don't either. No,
I mean, that's how you balance books.
Deferrals have been happening for decades. Deferrals are not new. What's new is that the majority of a contract is deferred. Shohei Ohtani doing what he did with his contract, which is a joke, which shouldn't be allowed, quite frankly.
That should be illegal.
There should be some mechanism here that determines what percentage of a deal can be deferred. I have no problem with deferrals, but I also think that it's gotten completely out of hand within the sport. $30 million is a big number, though, out of 120. Mm-hmm. So a quarter of it is deferred. When does that bill come due? When did they push that off until? I'm curious. That was my first question about this.
And why is it 10 more AAV per year than any other player? Or not any other player, but of the other teams that offer.
Because this is Craig Breslow sticking to his philosophy, despite not being willing to go out there and give the 7 or 8 year deal. As I said yesterday, there was a pretty clear belief in that organization.
I know you'd have to give a little more, but get 5.
Okay, yeah. Why is it? The question is, why is it 10 versus 4 or 5?
4 or 5.
It's what it took to get the deal done.
4 or 5. I think you got the deal
done. To extend yourself, and
that's
where the money comes in here.
You're asking the question again, Milliken. You're doing the same thing Zoe's doing, which is that's what it took to get the deal done.
Yes.
Why did it take that to get the deal done? And I think we know the answer.
He wanted a 6 or 7 year deal minimum. That was what was out there.
I think it's twofold. That, what you just said, he was looking for a much bigger, longer-term deal. He's settling for a deal that's shorter term, so the AAV is going to have to be significantly higher. But also, you've got to get him to switch teams. And you've got to get him to come to Boston, which at the moment doesn't have the greatest reputation as a team in terms of how good they are. And in terms of their, day-to-day functionality, if you will. It's a bit of a dysfunctional situation over the last few years. And they're expecting him to come in and clean it up to some degree, aren't they?
Yep.
Isn't that why you sign a guy like this?
Wake up, Patriots.
So I think you've got to pay for that service.
Yeah.
You've got to pay to get the guy to switch teams and come to yours when you're not a good team. When you are racking up last place finishes like it's nobody's business.
I knew the answer. That's why I asked.
That's why they did it. I know you knew the answer. That was a very nice thing you did there.
Yeah. Instead of
nice strategy.
Yeah.
Nice strategy.
That's what I want the Patriots to do.
I like how you did that.
Yeah.
And I like how you're bringing the Patriots into it only 5 minutes into this conversation.
Well,
because they could take a lesson from the Red Sox, from this Bregman deal, for themselves.
Did we just do team rankings in town like last week or week before the Super Bowl?
Yeah. An arrow up, arrow down type of thing the other day.
Right. I'd say arrow up, Red Sox.
Red Sox, arrow up.
For sure.
It was kind of like slightly up. Now it's going up, man. They
Patriots
got an
are
arrow
next.
up.
You're on the clock. It's your free agency time.
Milliken's arrow's very far up today.
I think you look at it right now, this is an A- offseason. If you can add one more reliever and get Crochet's extension done, it's an A+ to me.
Crochet's extension would help their offseason in terms of the grade you give it. Sure. Yeah, I'd give him
What's he on now, Tyler?
What'd you say?
What's his deal now?
He has 2 more years of control right now. He's making about $3.9 million. But his comments yesterday, he wants to get paid. You're talking probably $150 million over 7 years, somewhere around that.
That's down the road. Do it at the end of next year. See how he is this year. Do it at the end of next year with another year left if you have 2 years control. Work on getting another arm. Don't worry about him right now.
No, I would much rather worry about him right now.
Really?
Quite frankly. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to get that done.
Pitcher. Yeah, it's your best pitcher.
I'd like to get that done.
If you don't get it done now, you will not get it done whatsoever.
Yeah.
If it's not done before opening day, the fact that he's already saying, hey, I kind of want to see what it's like if I go out there and pitch a full season. If he goes out there and looks anything like he did last year, this guy's getting one of the biggest deals in, entire pitching history.
So Alex Bregman, to get back to this deal, 3 years and $120 million, $30 million of it is guaranteed. There are opt-outs included in the deal. He is going to move to second base. He has played third base for pretty much his entire career. He's played a total of 9 times at second base in his career. Not exactly a huge sample to go by. Do you have any concerns about Alex Bregman moving to second base?
None at all, no. Because when he has done it, he came up as a shortstop. The belief was he was always going to end up being a second baseman here. And when he has gone out there and played in these short stints, he's never looked super uncomfortable. Alex Cora himself, who knows infield defense, who talks about it more than anyone, has said, I believe he can be a Gold Glover at that position. Last time they were willing to try it, it was with Trevor Story. It worked, flawlessly. He was the best defensive second baseman in baseball that year. I have no worries, and I don't think it's going to be for long. If you told me by the middle of the year that he's over to third base and Devers is DHing, I wouldn't be surprised. I think this is just somewhere you're starting this year. Because it keeps everyone happy. It allows Yoshida to still DH. You can still push Christian Campbell to left field and have this lineup that has ceiling and flexibility moving forward.
What does this do for Christian Campbell now?
Well, now the biggest loser out of all this, Vaughn Grissom, the guy you traded Chris Sale for, he's now out of the equation.
Yep.
But Christian Campbell was kind of the guy many were hoping would win the second base job.
Yep.
Now, if he's going to make the roster, it's going to have to be in left field.
Okay.
To your point, though, couldn't Bregman wind up at third? And you're sort of, I know that Passan said that he's going to play second, but couldn't you be massaging this a little bit for Devers at first, and then maybe warm him up to the idea for becoming a full-time DH?
I think the first time Devers' body starts barking, he probably needs a break at DH, and they move Bregman over. It's a good chance that he's the third baseman.
I'm with you on this. I think he's going to end up playing third base here. That's what I think ends up happening. And where Devers goes, well, the obvious spot is him being the DH, the full-time DH for this team. The less obvious spot is they find a way to have him start figuring out how to play first base, which I've been talking about for a couple of years.
You like the big stiff there?
They should try it out.
But I don't think that's it. I think they badly want Vladdy Guerrero Jr. a year from now, and this buys him
I'm
another.
just talking about right now, though.
Sure, maybe. But I think long-term, when you're kind of planning here, this gives them a year to figure things out with Tristan Casas and how you want to flip him and how you want to move forward. And that's the best part of this deal.
Deadline. Yeah. So they'll figure it out. But I have a hard time believing that all of a sudden he's going to come here and play second base for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
However long he ends up being here. How long is he going to stay? How long will he be here?
All 3 years.
All 3 years, says Milliken.
I'll go with that.
He thinks he'll stay for all 3.
That's Cora's job to make sure he's content.
It's just if you go a year here, unless he goes nuclear, we're talking Juice Balls 2019, 28 Bregman that hit 40 jacks. Are you going to do better than $280 million? Come on. You're not.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You'd be smart to stay to the end of the deal and then go make up the money that you may have had out there.
It's a great contract.
4 years at 120 versus 3 years at 120 is such a crazy wide gap between where this was thought to be a couple of days ago and where it ended up being. They paid real money for a player.
You have to give him credit.
I am giving him the credit.
Dropped it on the table and said, here you go.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Take it.
You guys see
Yeah.
the John Henry picture?
Freaking Big Balls Breslow over there, dropping him right on the table.
But that's what I love here, that he didn't break his
Right
philosophy.
on the dresser. What?
I love that he didn't break his philosophy. We knew he did not believe in going 4, 5, 6, 7 years. But still, we can flex our financial muscle in a different way. We're just going to blow the door through AAV-wise. This is a different way of spending, but still doing it in a way that you're not making Breslow look like an idiot or like his opinion doesn't matter.
All right, so Red Sox make a move. They spent money on a real player. Their lineup is improved. They fulfill a need. They've got the bat that they were looking for, and they were talking about potentially showing up somehow.
Expensive infield.
How about that? How about those Red Sox? Surprising us. But as we give them credit, which they get all kinds of credit for today, does it speak to a plan? Does this speak to like a great vision that they have, or are they getting lucky by just landing some players here late in the offseason? We could talk about that. Are they a legit threat in the American League East now? now that Bregman is part of this lineup and part of this clubhouse, which I think should not be underrated in this move. He's the guy who could come in and give everybody a swift ass kicking, which this team needs.
Jimmy Stewart said it'll lead him to the World Series.
All right, let's talk about it. Your thoughts as well. Happy Red Sox Day, 617-779-0985. We'll stop mocking them for the time being. They did something good. Congratulations, Red Sox. They got to get Castig out there for opening day now. They have to just have him be the MC. He doesn't have to call the game. Just have him be the MC.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious about this. A warm Fenway welcome.
How would he introduce Bregman?
Oh, it's easy. Let's give
I
a
used
warm
to hate
Fenway
him, but I
welcome.
love him now.
Alex Bregman. There you go. Crowd will go nuts for him. I think he's going to fit in here. I think he's going to fit in this town. If you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand here. For more Red Sox analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.